and Pete's. Tonight's show is brought to you by Team Toyota, BCWSA, Fogo de Show, Independence Blue Cross, and Capital Grill. Now, here are your hosts, Phillies PA announcer Dan Baker and Tommy Greene.
All right, welcome to a special NLCS playoff edition of the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session. I'm John Brazer, Director of Fun and Games, filling in for Dan Baker and my co-host, Tommy Greene.
How you doing, pal?
Normally we are on WBCB doing our Baseball Insider show. But
good
now,
to have you. Good to have you on board.
And I just saw you at Pat Dion Beverages Beer Distributorship doing the show on Saturday.
Yes, we did.
But Tommy,
along with our famous Chris Ermer.
But because we are about to embark on the Game 1 of the NLCS.
Yes.
Right? Who would be the most appropriate person to have on as our special guest today would be the MVP of the 1983 NLCS, Gary Sarge Matthews. What's up, Sarge?
How about the Sarge?
Man, I was going to say Larry Anderson.
Larry Anderson.
Yeah.
It could be L.A. Sarge, how you doing, pal?
Doing good.
You're looking good, man.
I tell you what, that's the best dressed man. He comes. I know Sarge is just impeccable.
I mean, you can see him. He's got the blue plaid blazer. He's got the light blue golf shirt, I believe. That matches Phillies. That matches the cap up top.
Well, it makes me feel like I'm back home a little bit, down in North Carolina territory a little bit. He's got North Carolina colors on.
Chris said powder blue. Is that powder blue or is that North Carolina blue?
A little of both.
I like that.
Yeah, a little of both.
Sarge, well, good to see you.
Good.
We
good
have
to be here.
Game 1. I know you're following the Fightin' Phils. We're going to talk about what we did to the Braves. We'll talk about some of the behind-the-scenes stories there. We're going to talk about the Diamondbacks. We're going to get everyone filled in on who we're about to take on. In fact, we're taking on a Philly native tonight, Zach Gallen.
Yes.
But, Sarge, let's talk about you. Let's talk about let's go through that 1983. Let's go back in time, 1983, because that team was the Wheeze Kids, right? Playoff the Whiz Kids. You guys had 9 players 30 years or older.
Wow.
And you had 3 rookies, right? You had Kevin Gross, Charlie Hudson, and you had Juan Samuel, rookies.
Oh, Sammy, huh?
Yeah.
But here you are. You guys are going to play the Dodgers. Now, obviously, the Dodgers we lost in 1977, and we lost in 1978 NLCS, right? So the Dodgers feel like just kind of like the Braves feel now that we own them, right? So
they don't know what they don't know what to do.
I know we were 5 years later in 1983. But they're probably feeling pretty confident because, if you remember, you guys only won 1 game out of 12. One game out of 12 during that regular season. You were shut out 5 times, right? You guys had a collective 187 batting average against the Dodgers, right?
Now, who'd they have on that staff?
I think
they had Jerry Rice.
Jerry Royce was on that team.
You had Fernando,
remember? And that, I think, was his first year, that particular year.
You had Bob Welch.
Bob Welch, the fireballer. He was there.
Don Hudson?
Don
Sutton.
Well, I don't think Sutton.
In a best-of-5 series, that's basically who you saw.
Yeah.
You saw those guys. So let's go through that because, again, you guys in that 1983 – you guys were on a tear. I said all that before, but you guys are 23-8 in September, October.
Yeah,
23-8. So you guys are torrid going into that series.
Got hot at the right time.
All right. So Game 1, it's a great pitching matchup. It's Jerry Royce versus Lefty, right? And if you remember, first inning, Mike Schmidt hits a home run and put you guys 1-0. Well, that's all you needed because Lefty pretty much was pretty smooth until in the 7th inning it was. Bases loaded. Could have been a key situation. They take Lefty out. They put in Al Holland. He gets out of the inning, pitches the 9th. You guys win 1-0. So you got to be feeling pretty good about yourselves.
Feeling great. Anytime you can win that first game, you have to be feeling really, really good. Takes a lot of pressure off of the team, off of the next pitcher coming the next day.
I have to agree with that.
It has a tendency, too, to kind of get that engine going. You know that you're kind of playing with house money, if you will, after you win that.
Especially in a best-of-5 series.
Oh, without a doubt.
Without a doubt there.
Yeah.
Well, then, Tommy, Sarge just takes over the series at this point because Sarge you're a little quiet that game. Everyone was quiet that game.
He's been known to do that.
But Sarge took off because in Game 2, we lost, but LA scored in the first inning off John Denny. But Sarge tied it up in the second with a home run off Fernando. What was Fernando Valenzuela? What was it like facing Fernando?
Well, we had a game plan that we wanted everybody to hit the ball the opposite way. We were the first team, the Phillies, to beat Fernando when he was actually on his streak and winning a lot of games.
Yeah.
We didn't win a lot of games that year, but we did beat Fernando. But, he was a guy I thought that you got to make him get the ball up. He had that little screwball. But, again, for the right-handers, facing a left-hander was almost like taking a day off, if you will, because you got the ball coming into you, and at least you felt, a lot better.
You're going to see it pretty well.
As opposed to, say, a Bob Welch throwing fastballs and curveballs.
You saying that, the ball coming into you, as far as Fernando's concerned, he was known, he'd pitch in. He would be coming in, but that screwball was that nullifying thing. He'd show you. Yeah. And I think by your approach, what y'all were saying, you got to stay on it to be able to have success against that pitch, which he's going to throw it to you quite a bit. You got to think right center. Got to stay the opposite way and trust your hands to hit that ball inside when he comes in there. If he doesn't get it in there.
And not only that though, if they come in, it's going to be way inside.
A show me pitch, right?
Yeah, Randy Jones, Tommy John, those guys. You got to take the whole plate.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're going to still stay away.
Oh yes, they're going to walk that dog.
Come in, but.
So that pitch you hit off Fernando where was that pitch?
Probably middle in if it went to left center.
Okay.
I would have to think.
Yeah. Or you were leaning on him awful bad.
Yeah. It's it was just a challenge. I knew that he was going to challenge me. I got Mike Schmidt hitting behind me.
Right.
That's some of the easiest hitting you can do.
You know you will get something.
Oh, yeah. They're not walking me to get to him.
Oh, you had your napkin around your neck and your knife and fork ready to go.
Oh, let me tell you, trying to eat some porterhouse.
Yeah, I hear you, brother. Oh, man.
All right. Well, that game, unfortunately, we lose 4-1. Pedro Guerrero had the big 2-out triple in the fifth. So you go down. So now you're 1-1, but you're coming back to Philly, right? Now, the vet was obviously a little different from Citizens Bank Park. Citizens Bank Park, I think we now have it's the craziest home field advantage, I think, in any ballpark.
That place gets jumping,
It is jumping from the get-go, and I think Zach Gallen and the Diamondbacks are going to find that out tonight. But here we are, Game 3, 1983. We're back in Philly, back at the vet, and you guys are facing Bob Welch, right?
How many fans could get in the vet? Back in the playoffs. It's like right at 70, wasn't it? Upper 60s?
I don't know how many, but I know it was loud.
You might know.
Sure.
It was about 65,000 or so.
It was
I got to experience that, in the playoffs with us, and I was like, that was unbelievable. Oh. I've never been in front of that many people.
Yep, and just the only, obviously it was built for football and to accommodate football and baseball. So you're not on top of it like the Citizens Bank Park where the fans are on top, especially the bullpen. I would not want to be a reliever.
I'll tell you what,
people
get wore out down there, man.
Big time. All right, so you're coming into Philadelphia, Game 3. You guys get 2 runs off Bob Welch, right? You're up, but then they come back. So you're up 3-2, and then in the fourth, our man right here, Sarge.
There he is.
Hits a leadoff home run to make it 4-2. He decides that that's not going to be enough, so he has a 2-run single off Joe Beckwith.
Yeah.
Right? In the fifth to make it 6-2.
Ducks on the pond.
And then he might as well says, let's just finish it off. Sarge gets an RBI single off Pat Zachary in the seventh to make it 7-2. And basically that was the Sarge game.
Yeah.
That was the Sarge
4 ribbies, huh?
Inside out, little ball there, staying on it.
Hey,
so were you just tell about that game itself? Were you just feeling it right there? Was it walk us through that game for you?
It's simple. When you're hitting and you're seeing the ball, you just know
that was my question.
You're going to hit the ball hard somewhere. It's just, your hand-eye coordination is right there. You got slow feet. And you're swinging at strikes.
Okay, when you say you're seeing the baseball, does that mean you're picking it up earlier so everything sort of slows down for you?
I'm picking it up early. I'm looking at that dot. on the slider. I already know on different pitchers that I face that you need to get that ball up. Larry Anderson's slider was really down and hard away.
Yeah.
So unless you made him get it up, you weren't going to have any kind of success. So you can't just look at it and say, okay, I'm gonna guess. I guess right, but it's a ball. So what? You guess slider, but it's in the dirt, and you swung at it.
Yeah.
You got to be able to get the ball up. There are certain pitchers that couldn't throw the ball in. Jerry Kuzman was throwing a cutter back when they weren't even saying a cutter.
Right.
Ball moving hard inside,
Yeah.
up and in. So, with him, might have to back off the plate a little bit because that was his bread and butter.
He wanted to get in on them thumbs, didn't he?
What was Jerry Royce's? What was your approach this game, Jerry Royce? Bob Welch. What was your approach with Bob Welch? Knowing because obviously
Fastballs.
Okay.
He threw a lot of fastballs, right?
Oh yeah, and he would challenge you as well. Definitely. Yeah.
Well, game 3 again. That was a Sarge game. We end up winning 7-2. Charlie Hudson gets the win. Well, then we game 4, so now we can finish it off. Similar to the other night when we have the Braves, and you want to win because you don't want to go to LA for game 5 for a lot of reasons. One, you can set your rotation up. 2, you don't want to give up the momentum. And Sarge just nipped it at the bud right in the get-go, Tommy. First inning off Jerry Royce, 3-run home run.
How about that, dude?
Yeah.
You were seeing it good, weren't you?
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a left-hander again.
Oh.
First pitch.
He didn't get it in there, huh?
No, first pitch he had me jumping a little rope. It was down and in. The next pitch, see you later. But the fans, you could hear them saying, beat L.A.
Yeah.
Beat L.A.
Because at the time, there was venom against L.A. Because, again, we had lost 2 bad series.
They had bad taste in their mouths from those 77 and 78. And then the way they beat us like a drum that particular year. And, man, it's always, no matter
what. And
what
Lasorda was there, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing better than beating that dude.
Tom Lasorda.
As much as I'd love to see him go crazy in the dugout, I love beating that dude.
He, with the Dodgers, and I came up in the Giants organization, he was the manager every place I went, and he beat us, my teams, all the time. Yeah. From AAA, from A-ball there, in Bakersfield, and had similar players, Davey Lopes, and all those games. But
I grew up watching all those guys.
You grow up not really liking them being in the Giants organization. It's like the Hatfield and the McCoys.
Right.
You don't know why. It's just in your blood that you don't like those lily white uniforms and let's get them dirty. Okay,
goody two shoes guys.
Yeah, definitely.
Steve Garvey. Right? Steve Saxon.
Ron Say.
Right. All right, Sarge. So you were obviously after that series. You win the MVP, NLCS MVP, and then I know obviously went in to play Baltimore in the World Series. I remember I was first year in college, and I went to school down in Virginia, so I had a lot of Baltimore friends, and I was feeling good after the first game, and then basically I probably shouldn't have chirped after that first game. But it was a tough series. Baltimore was obviously a good team, had very good pitchers in that. That's when they had Jim Palmer, right? And they had
they had Flanagan,
Flanagan,
McGregor.
Yeah, things didn't go well. Paul Owens at the time was the manager after firing Pat Corrales at the All-Star break. I don't know how many managers have been fired with the team in first place.
Right.
But anyway, he was fired. He took over. They were platooning a lot of different players. Gary Maddox ended up hitting a home run, got the game-winning hit the first game, and then wasn't playing, the next game.
Right.
So there are a lot of kind of little mixed-up things going on, but without a doubt, got beat by the better team. And if Rick Dempsey, the catcher, was the MVP with Hall of Famers on that team, you know how good things went for them.
Yep. All right, Sarge, we are going to come back. We're going to talk about your career. Then we'll get into the Brave Series and get you lined up for the Diamondbacks. You're listening to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. It's all new and it's all for you. The heated deck at Chickie and Pete's on the Boulevard is now open. It's enclosed, heated, and perfect for the ultimate in-game experience or live music when the best local bands take the stage. Like LeComp, Fat Mez, or Jameson. Check our website for the band schedule. The Heated Deck at Chicky and Pete's on the Boulevard is now open every Thursday through Sunday. Chickies and Pete's. Hi, it's Pete from Chicky and Pete's.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
Millions of Americans are losing their medical assistance or Medicaid coverage. If this affects you, Independence Blue Cross can help. You may be eligible to enroll in a health plan for as little as $0 a month. With Independence Blue Cross, you get the largest provider network in the area, including most Keystone First doctors and hospitals. We also offer free 24/7 telemedicine, coverage for hospital stays and prescriptions. See if you qualify for $0 health insurance and enroll today. Call Independence Blue Cross at 1-844-464-2583 or visit ibx.com/stay covered.
I SEPTA Philly.
I SEPTA Philly. I SEPTA Philly.
I ride the Broad Street line. Do you know how expensive parking is?
I do not have time to deal with traffic.
Because it's better for the environment.
I ride SEPTA all the time.
Monday through Friday, and whenever game day is.
I'm out the door and at my stop by 7:30.
I catch up on work when I ride.
I check Twitter, text my buddies.
I watch sports highlights, or lowlights.
For real Philly fans, SEPTA is the hometown way to go. Ride with us at iseptaphilly.com.
SEPTA offers a variety of career opportunities. Our core business is transit, and with 5 modes of service, we rely on and need operators, engineers, and conductors. But it takes a host of other specialties, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, and more to keep the system moving. As an employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills, or at teamtoyota.net.
All right, we are back to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session from Chickies and Pete's in South Philly. I'm John Brazer, joined by Tommy Greene and our special guest, Gary Sarge. Matthews, the MVP of the 1983 NLCS. And Sarge, we talked about that series, but let's talk about you because you've had a great career. You were, in 1972, you came up with the Giants, right? You were a first-round draft pick.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the season. And then you were Rookie of the Year in 1973. Tell our audience who was on that team. That was an unbelievable team that year. Because you had some guys for the Giants. Because you had some legends kind of on the way down, right? But also some guys on the way up.
It was a change of the guards. Willie McCovey was my not only locker partner, but I hit in front of him and behind him. It wasn't fun hitting in front of him, especially if you were on first base, because they would always tell you don't steal, and then the first baseman would just tap you with the glove and say, good luck.
Right.
Okay? Because Willie could really hit the ball down there. Gary Maddox also was on that team, played with Gary in the minor leagues, obviously, with the Giants. Tito Fuentes and Chris Spire was on the team. Dave Kingman also was on that team. Jim Barr, one of the
guy
pitchers.
could get the head out right there, Kingman.
You know, Randy Moffett. A lot of people won't know the name Randy Moffett, but
you know his sister.
Yeah, Billie Jean King.
Right.
And Randy just had a birthday the other day, as a matter of fact. But fastball slider pitcher. He's another one of those relievers that, if the medicine hadn't been better, he would have been able to pitch a lot longer. I think Tommy would attest to that, the better the medicine. And you look at the guys now that have terrible arm injuries are able to come back, and in a lot of cases, even throw the ball even harder.
Man, even better, but it's just science.
Yeah.
I think they kind of figured some stuff out with some of the surgeries and some of the things they've done.
Yeah.
So with all those players, you're coming in 1973, your rookie year. Well, 72 you came in, but 73 that your first full season.
Sure.
Your first round draft picks. So obviously you have pedigree. Were the veterans welcoming? Did they welcome you with open arms? Was it intimidating? Was there any kind of used to getting yourself situated in the Major League clubhouse?
Yeah. The only bad thing I had to do was actually carry around Willie McCovey's boom box. They had those heavy boom boxes back in the day there.
Right.
And for initiation, I used to have to carry that and have it on the back of the bus. And he actually introduced me to starting on my wine binge at the time. And
so he's the one to
connoisseur. Turned you into a connoisseur.
Right.
I don't know if it was connoisseur or not, because it was Blue Nun and Matus that I started up on, and now
you've gone just higher and higher.
And now you're hanging out with Lefty.
My God!
Only one way to go, Sarge.
Well, you can only learn to appreciate it when it starts off bad.
Right.
Okay, when it gets good,
you know it.
But that year in '73, Mike Schmidt broke in that particular year. Dave Winfield also.
How about that?
Along with Bill Matlock. Was also
guy can hit, man.
Davey Lopes and all that crew was there the very first year, and unfortunately that year, Mike didn't show the being the Hall of Fame player, and he probably won't remember it, but I remember playing them late in the season, and he said, "Hey, you better be lucky you're hitting 300, or I would be Rookie of the Year." Well, hell, I wasn't even thinking about it. I was just trying to really make my way. But Mike had the home runs, which he was kind of indicating to, but he struck out too much.
Right.
I think he hit a $198, and after that year, obviously he went to work and became the player that he was. But he. Without maybe striking out, or if he had hit maybe, say, 270, 280, he probably would have been the Rookie of the Year.
Now, you were brought up in '72. Was Willie Mays? He was on that roster, but was he on the team at that time, or was he already?
Believe it or not, if I can remember right, Gary Maddox came up for Willie Mays during the course of the year for a pitcher by the name of Charlie Williams. Right-handed pitcher, and Mays was in New York. So I played with him in spring training and so on, never in a major league game. Played with Willie McCovey, Gaylord Perry, obviously, where I can hear him saying, if you miss a fly ball, get that guy out of there. He don't want to play today. And as a matter of fact, when I'm pitching, don't ever put him in that lineup.
Right.
Oh, these pitchers back in the day, they took no prisoners.
Yeah.
Because they were getting paid on how many games they won, not how many, innings and so on. You had to have a certain amount of victories and only get a little bit of a raise.
If Acuna is basically flapping his arms around third base after he hit a home run back in 1973, what's happening to Acuna next time he comes up to bat?
Could be Acuna, could be the next guy coming up, but
that's the way they handled things back then. The next guy would get, and that way the next guy handled it himself.
They would have marked that down and end up getting the guy. later on. I remember Darryl Thomas when we were in San Francisco, and there was a pitcher that came up, and he was pitching, but Darryl just charged the mound and so on. And I after the game was over, I said, "Man, what was that all about?" He said, "That guy hit me in spring training, and I told him if I ever saw him, I'm going to charge him and kick his butt."
I love that.
He saw him again, and he went.
And he went without even going to see. Is that him? Oh yeah, he's got it coming.
He must have got him good then. He must have got hit pretty good.
to remember him, I mean, I remember Keogh hit me right in my elbow. Every time I think about my elbow, I think of Keogh.
Matt Keogh.
That pitch.
He got you good, huh?
Oh yeah. And then when I would see him when he come into the vet, I go like, "Hey Matt, remember when you hit me in my elbow and so on?" He went like, "Sarge, the pitch got away." I said, "Good answer."
Good.
All right, so you go.
Now, what was the worst one that you ever got? I mean, somebody got you.
Man, I've been hit. Some of those guys with Houston, I got hit in the ribs pretty good. Griffin hit me in the ribs.
Wasn't no glancing blows. One of those that sit and drop straight down.
Force and so on. No, because I learned in elementary school dodgeball, so I'm gonna turn some kind of a different way.
Right.
And
look, you got the glancing blow rather than less than the full money.
Exactly.
All right, so then you go from the Giants. You're from the Giants 72 to 76. You go to the Braves from 77 to 80, and then the Phils acquire you in 1981 for Bob Walk. So
Bob Walk.
What was your
name?
What was your thought when you found out that you were getting traded to Philadelphia for Bob Walk? What was your thoughts going through your head?
First of all, I mean, with the team, I was really looking forward to it, especially after coming from the Braves, where the only one you could hear in the stands was Chief Nakahoma. And
I knew every fan by first name down there when I was there. That's how many fans we had.
Yeah, but I mean, being with the Phillies and then with the team that I was with, it was really so easy to hit. If I had been playing with those guys, my whole career, all stats would have gone up. And again, to be
it's amazing when you have somebody behind you like that, and you're hitting.
And it was the whole team. I mean, you look at. The way that Mike played, and don't forget, Pete was on that team.
Yeah.
He was on, and then Tony Perez and Joe Morgan, was on the team. So it was almost like you were fighting to where you wanted to be able to hit in the lineup.
Yeah.
And I felt fortunate to be with that team and be in the third spot, and then having Michael Jack, hit behind me. Constantly in your ear, like, hey.
So they were being aggressive with you. They were trying to. They were.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We had
Bull in there too.
I mean, they get 2-0, and I start digging a hole because I could hear Michael Jack, slinging those weights, blam, blam, and then the pitcher would look over there, look back at me, and I go like, "You got nowhere to go.
You got to come to Papa."
And Mike is telling me to lay off that slider in the dirt, and really, I learned how to be a little more patient from Mike. And
well, I mean, you hit on something there. Now, he says lay off the slider. How do you, as a hitter, lay off of it? It's about picking it up, right?
Yeah, because it has that spin. And again, the bread and butter, you knew you were going to get a slider, say, from Larry Anderson.
Oh, yeah.
Now, all I want him to do is to be able to get
elevate
it up.
Yeah. Then it's about controlling your emotions, not getting anxious, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you see with some of the guys we have in our lineup when they're going bad. Like Castellanos gets in that swing mode, and Turner's the same way. They start swinging at that, so it's like they're not picking it up, or something.
And they're all getting better, but the fact is, when they're laying off that pitch, there ain't a whole lot of guys really that can get them out. And now, personally for me, because the pitchers aren't really trying to hit corners, they're throwing the ball, and if you look at the pitches that the Phillies hit, we're almost right down the middle.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's scary because, again, Schwartzy isn't really hitting right now. If he was hitting,
oh my God,
it would have been no contest.
I'm already calling this a Schwarber series coming up right here. They have all their starters are right-handed. Every one of their starters is right-handed. They have 3 lefties in the bullpen. So we're going to get I think the lefties might be feasting, even though they're very tough pitchers. But this could be a Schwarber. When Schwarber's quiet, he usually comes back the next series.
You better have a good breaking ball if you're facing this lineup, and really any of the good lineups. And if you had a chance to look at Verlander yesterday, anytime he threw that breaking ball that was a little of a slur, those guys really got on it.
Oh, yeah.
The ones they missed is that sharp one that comes down
in the zone.
Yep.
Because now they've seen this. This is not April. Now the hitters have seen the break on the ball.
Right.
They faced this guy before. That's why it becomes easier to be able to hit and pick the ball up like the Phillies did against the number
and then
one.
on the other hand, you start talking about the pitching side of it. What's the key to the pitching to kind of nullify or have a possibly good game against hitters like that, because they've seen you so much. It's about the command, and that's what you
got to have that first pitch strike.
You got to be commanding, staying out of the middle. And it's taking advantage of what I think we've done. We've took advantage of their mistakes better.
Yeah, and then
over the plate, the ball's got over too much of the plate, and that's what happens.
And then multiply it. Look at the ballparks that they're playing in.
How many home runs you hit in Houston?
Oh, man, I said it the other day.
My God.
I could have faced Nolan Ryan and J.R. Richards there.
Well,
maybe some of the pop-ups I would have gotten out.
Oh, God, yes. I mean, you played in, like, the Death Valley, in Houston back in the day. It was like playing in Yellowstone.
All right, we are going to go to break, but coming up in the show, we're going to get Sarge's take on the Brave series we just went past. I know a fan had come up to you in between the breaks and said, what did you think about Orlando Arcia chirping off? I want to get Sarge's answer for that, because he basically created T-shirts, attaboy Harp, right? And the Phillies use that for our advantage. So we'll talk about that and the entire Brave series. You're listening to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. It's all new and it's all for you. The heated deck at Chickie and Pete's on the Boulevard is now open. It's enclosed, heated, and perfect for the ultimate in-game experience or live music when the best local bands take the stage. Like LeComp, Fat Mez, or Jameson. Check our website for the band schedule. The heated deck at Chickie and Pete's on the Boulevard is now open every Thursday through Sunday. Chickies and Pete's.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
Millions of Americans are losing their medical assistance or Medicaid coverage. If this affects you, Independence Blue Cross can help. You may be eligible to enroll in a health plan for as little as $0 a month. With Independence Blue Cross, you get the largest provider network in the area, including most Keystone First doctors and hospitals. We also offer free 24/7 telemedicine, coverage for hospital stays and prescriptions. See if you qualify for $0 health insurance and enroll today. Call Independence Blue Cross at 1-844-464-2583 or visit ibx.com/stay covered.
I SEPTA Philly.
I SEPTA Philly. I SEPTA Philly.
I ride the Broad Street line. Do you know how expensive parking is?
I do not have time to deal with traffic.
Because it's better for the environment. I ride SEPTA all the time.
Monday through Friday, and whenever game day is.
I'm out the door and at my stop by 7:30.
I catch up on work when I ride.
I check Twitter, text my buddies.
I watch sports highlights or lowlights.
For real Philly fans, SEPTA is the hometown way to go. Ride with us at iseptaphilly.com.
SEPTA offers a variety of career opportunities. Our core business is transit, and with 5 modes of service, we rely on and need operators, engineers, and conductors. But it takes a host of other specialties, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, and more to keep the system moving. As an employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills, or at teamtoyota.net.
All right, we are back to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session from Chickies and Pete's, South Philly. I'm John Brazer, joined by Tommy Greene and Sarge. Sarge, we talked about your career, but let's before we get into the Braves series, how much we enjoyed it as a fellow employee, but I know the fans and the listeners out there loved you as a broadcaster. It was so much fun having you as a broadcaster. How did you enjoy being a broadcaster for the Fightin' Phils?
Oh, it was tremendous amount of fun, from saying things and, being called in and saying, oh, you can't say something like that. I had,
you got your hand slapped a little bit?
I am so happy that they have and checking the umpires, because back in the day with Joe West, he would call you out on some balls that were in the dirt, and it would always be where it was 2-2 or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that they have it in order for them just to check them, not to fire them or whatever, but for them to be able to get better.
Held accountable a little bit. Checks and balances a little bit.
Eric Gregg made Greg Maddox famous. Greg said, hey, I got to throw it 2 inches off. I can do that. Eric was punching you out.
Oh, boy, yeah, I tell you what, he got that lawnmower going, didn't he? He could crank a lawnmower.
Oh, man. But, I'm happy they're able to check them and so on. And even the plays on the field, just to be able to get it right where you don't have to second guess some of the, boom, boom, right there, where you can see it. And honestly, sometimes slow motion.
Yep.
You can't really.
It's a hard job to. All right, well, let's go through because I want to get to the obviously the Phils game 1. We win 3-0. Stott RBI single, Harper home run, Real Muto. But this is really the Suarez. Actually, it was I'm going to call it the Rob Thompson game because he took Suarez out, which I know old school. It's not. But the guy's 3 2/3, but I think they had a plan, and they didn't tell him the plan, Sarge. Could you imagine back in the day, you're not telling the starting pitcher what you're doing, but he wanted to keep Suarez in the dark because he wanted him to basically –
he was throwing the ball so good, though.
Right. He wanted to keep him in the dark, but the catcher knew, the bullpen knew they're going to be ready, and next thing you know, it's a parade of bullpen. It's Hoffman, Sir Anthony, Alvarado, Kirkering, Strom, and Kimbrell. You rolled out all those guys, and we shut out. It was the first time the Braves have been shut out at home all season.
Wow. To chime in, we chimed in on it yesterday a little bit. I think the big key to that, to be able to do that, what he did, was having that day off the next day.
Sure. Yep. Everyone was rested.
Yeah, so he could go about it that way. But you got a guy throwing the ball like that, and he gave just one hit. It was one hit. That was it.
Yeah, that's where, again, we would have never have done that, really back in the day. But this is where
it's different.
I guess the game really has changed. One of the things, though, with this particular club, that they put winning first, where Kimbrell comes in a situation where game kind of is on the line.
Yep. Could be 7th
but
inning,
it didn't
6th inning.
have to be the 9th inning.
Yeah.
That tells me the guys are all in. That it doesn't matter who does that. And it's really refreshing to be able to see. But these guys don't only have really great and really good hitters. They got really great character. Could you really imagine having another starter on the team with what they have right now. You know, they got a team here. Personally, and looking at them, they can dominate the way that J. Rowe and Utley and those guys did.
Definitely.
Very easy to see.
Right, and it could be a different superstar and several superstars as we saw.
One pitcher or so on here or there.
Yeah.
They got the young enough nucleus and so on at the key positions that they can play havoc in this East
for a while.
Well, the Braves, Braves did not
years.
want to face us. They were already complaining before the series started that how there should be reseeding. How come we're getting the Phillies? They did not want to play us. We were in their heads already. But Game 2, that was a tough one. We blow the 4-0 lead.
Yeah.
And then they just Turner made an error, and it kind of gave them a run. All of a sudden, they get a little momentum. Then it's interesting because Zach Wheeler stayed in a little longer. Now, if you remember last year, Zach Wheeler gets pulled in a World Series game.
Yeah.
This one, he lets him stay in. Darno, who's got good numbers against him, hits a home run to make it 4-3. Well, then Hoffman makes a tough pitch. I'm sure he would want to take it back. Riley hits a 2-run home run, 5-4. And then that's going to set up to my question to you. Harris makes an unbelievable catch.
Wow,
Castellanos hits that ball. Every Philadelphia fan's thinking that's going to be either a double, it's going to score Harper, or it's going to be a home run, and we take the lead. And Harper gets doubled up. And so my question to you is what the question the gentleman asked you between is that Orlando Arcia, a young guy, started chirping in the clubhouse because Harper gets doubled out.
They're starting shortstop.
And he starts, and there's a packed with media, and he's yelling. I don't know if he's doing this in Spanish or he's doing it through interpreter or if he's doing it in English. He's saying, "Attaboy Harp, attaboy Harp." Kept saying it. Well, obviously he wasn't saying it to one reporter. He was saying it out loud to everybody. So it gets back to Philadelphia, to the clubhouse, right? We lose an awful game. I'm sure they feel like a pit in the stomach. But I love what Castellanos said. It's like when we get punched in the mouth, we come right back. Well, how about this? Kirkering, the kid who just got called up, had 2 starts in the regular season, right?
Two relief appearances.
2 relief appearances, and he gets brought in to that Game 1. But Kirkering knows I guess his manager from college, from South Florida, his manager knew somebody from that could make T-shirts in Ambler, PA, out in the suburbs, and he made T-shirts that said "Attaboy Harp." He brought him in before Game 3. He gave it to all the players and everything, and we go out, and Harper hits 2 home runs and gives a stare down to Arcia at second base. So I guess my question is, Sarge, if you were playing and you're Harper right there, I'm sure you'll probably get him the same stare down that Harper gave Arcia.
No doubt.
The only thing I probably would have done different was slowed it down in the Cadillac and look at him a little bit more.
You thrown out the flash on him, huh?
Oh, yeah. Gangster white walls and all. Okay? Without a doubt. Hey, man, some of these young kids you're going to learn. Okay? And first of all, you don't really go and poke at one of the best players there on the team.
Poke the bear, man.
But, hey, there it is. And that's something not only is he going to think about now, he'll be thinking about that the rest of his life. I can bet he's trying to gather up all those T-shirts to burn them up. And he doesn't want any of those around.
And he was basically taking on the fans. Like he was in the dugout, and the fans are chirping, and he's chirping back. He just let that go. Like
that's the immaturity right there.
We were in their heads.
Oh, yeah. And, again, with a veteran player on your team, Tommy mentioned it earlier. You got a guy like – Dalton, you got a guy like Pete. I wouldn't have tolerated that period for sure. But you had to learn not only once, you had to learn twice because he had another bomb that stared you down. And it shows you what kind of character he had because he put his eyes and he looked down at the ground like his feelings were hurt. Well, they are just beginning to be hurt because they're going to be smashing you guys for a long time. The Atlanta Braves used to kind of intimidate the Phillies. And no more intimidation.
Well, that's what I was going to say. So here we are. We go into Game 4. We're up 2-1. We don't want to go to Atlanta for Game 5.
Not at all.
Even though you have Wheeler on the mound in Game 5, but you don't want to go.
You set up your rotation
and
for the next.
I think they were kind of defeated because, even though they got off to they hit a home run off Suarez in the 4th, but Castellanos, which he did the night before,
answered
right back, takes some momentum away from him. You got Strider on the mound. Turner hits a home run off Strider. Castellanos hits another home run in the 6th. We go 3-1. And then probably one of the most stressful times as a Phillies fan for me was
he lost hair that night.
In the 7th inning, yes, and I can't afford to lose more hair. In the 7th inning, the bullpen basically loads the bases. And you don't want to load the bases with two outs.
In the wrong way.
When Acuna is up, right? You don't want to load the bases. So now you got 2 outs. Kimbrel's on the mound.
Well, tell them how they load the bases. You got
walks.
It's walks.
3 walks.
3 walks.
3 walks.
That must have drove Larry Anderson.
It drove everybody nuts.
Crazy. And you have 2 outs. So all of a sudden now you got the best, arguably one of the best players in the game, and you got Kimbrel on the mound. It comes all of a sudden he swings. He swings. The ball's flying towards out. Everyone's heart drops. You got a pit in your stomach like, my God, he did it right here. We just blew the opportunity. And Rojas, a rookie who basically was in Double-A in August, Rojas comes up there and right at that angle of the wall makes a great catch. And I don't even know if there was any cheering because I think everyone was just, whew.
Take a deep breath.
Right.
Somebody started breathing again.
Yeah, this Rojas kid, obviously, just probably from him playing during winter ball, he's fearless.
Right.
He's going to be really
plays with a lot of confidence out there, doesn't he?
A lot of confidence, and the other thing is that when they have, Marsh there and left and Rojas and center,
that's good defense right there.
Let me tell you something. Those pitchers are feeling pretty good.
Right, yeah.
Because they can outrun mistakes the way that Gary Maddox did with a lot of pitchers. And he's having fun.
Yep, and Pache's
there's no question
in
about
there
that.
too. It's another good.
There's no question about that.
And I'm sure they told him, hey, man, just catch the ball.
Right.
They're not – with the lineup that they have, it's like,
right.
icing on the cake if he's hitting. And eventually this kid's going to hit.
Well, no, I mean, he did hit. He hit right at 300.
Oh, no, he's going to be to be reckoned with.
And he's going to get stronger, too.
Speed. Guy has speed.
Yeah,
I like him a lot.
All right, coming up in the show, we'll spend the last segment talking about the Arizona Diamondbacks who are facing tonight. We'll walk through, Sarge. We'll walk through their pitching.
Sure.
We'll walk through their lineup, what we can expect. You're listening to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session live from Chickies and Pete's in South Philadelphia.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. It's all new and it's all for you. The heated deck at Chickie and Pete's on the Boulevard is now open. It's enclosed, heated, and perfect for the ultimate in-game experience or live music when the best local bands take the stage. Like LeComp, Fat Mez, or Jameson. Check our website for the band schedule. The heated deck at Chickie and Pete's on the Boulevard is now open every Thursday through Sunday. Chickies and Pete's.
If you're looking for a stylish and sophisticated fine dining experience, visit your Eddie V's Prime Seafood restaurant near King of Prussia. Eddie V's Seafood features an abundant selection of fine wines and curated cocktails to complement exquisite steaks and seafood made from the highest quality ingredients. In the V Lounge, sip on imaginative handcrafted cocktails with attitude while enjoying signature appetizers. Conveniently located between I-276 and I-76 near the King of Prussia Mall. Call them today, 610-337-7823 to schedule your night out for Eddie V's Prime Seafood.
A truly unique dining experience awaits you at Fogo de Chão. Fogo de Chão awes patrons with their history and tradition of authentic Brazilian steakhouse, offering many cuts of decadent fire-roasted meats prepared over an open fire and served tableside by trained gaucho chefs. Fogo de Chão, 1337 Chestnut Street in Center City, Philadelphia. For reservations, go to www.fogo.com or call 215-636-9700.
Millions of Americans are losing their medical assistance or Medicaid coverage. If this affects you, Independence Blue Cross can help. You may be eligible to enroll in a health plan for as little as $0 a month. With Independence Blue Cross, you get the largest provider network in the area, including most Keystone First doctors and hospitals. We also offer free 24/7 telemedicine, coverage for hospital stays and prescriptions. See if you qualify for $0 health insurance and enroll today. Call Independence Blue Cross at 1-844-464-2583 or visit ibx.com/staycovered.
I SEPTA Philly.
I SEPTA Philly. I SEPTA Philly.
I ride the Broad Street line. Do you know how expensive parking is?
I do not have time to deal with traffic.
Because it's better for the environment. I ride SEPTA all the time.
Monday through Friday, and whenever game day is.
I'm out the door and at my stop by 7:30.
I catch up on work when I ride.
I check Twitter, text my buddies.
I watch sports highlights or lowlights.
For real Philly fans, SEPTA is the hometown way to go. Ride with us at iseptaphilly.com.
SEPTA offers a variety of career opportunities. Our core business is transit, and with 5 modes of service, we rely on and need operators, engineers, and conductors. But it takes a host of other specialties, including mechanics, electricians, plumbers, masons, painters, carpenters, welders, and more to keep the system moving. As an employee, you will earn competitive compensation and great benefits, including medical, dental, prescription, and a pension. Visit jobs.septa.org to apply today. That's jobs.septa.org.
There really is nothing like a home team advantage. That's why Team Toyota makes a great choice for your next vehicle purchase or service. With our MVP pricing guarantee, teammate rewards program, and streamlined customer experience, our award-winning operation ensures that you can trust our process. A home team advantage is nothing without the community. Our employees are part of our family, part of your town, and we're all part of the team. We're always here for you at one of our 3 locations in Princeton, Langhorne, and Glen Mills, or at teamtoyota.net.
The only times I got
all right, we are back to the Independence Blue Cross Bull Session from Chicks at Pete's in South Philadelphia. I'm John Brazer, joined by Tommy Greene and Sarge, Gary Matthews. All right, Sarge, Tommy, we have the Diamondbacks in town tonight for Game 1 of the NLCS. So let's get to know the Diamondbacks, what we're up for. First of all, the Diamondbacks are young.
Yes.
They're very young.
And they're fast.
They're fast. They love to steal bases. They're aggressive on the base pass. They've got 2 stud pitchers at the top of the rotation. It falls off after that. Their bullpen doesn't have great velocity, but they've got some guys that are getting it done, and they play great defense. So that's kind of the team right now. They're on a little bit of a roll. Yeah. They're a dangerous team because they just took out the Brewers and they took out the Dodgers. Now the Dodgers were depleted. Brewers a little bit too with Woodruff out, but still they took care of 2 teams. They are definitely to be reckoned with. So tonight's starter, Zach Gallen, Bishop Eustace product. That's where Vince Papali's kid went.
Yeah.
Bishop Eustace, he was 17, right-handed pitcher, 17-9 with a 3.47 ERA. He had the 6th most strikeouts in Major League Baseball. He did face the Phillies back on May 24th, went 5 2/3, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. So. And then
he's just pretty much a strike thrower. He's all around the zone. He's a pitcher. That's exactly what he is.
All around the
Their
zone.
other guy who they'll throw tomorrow night is Merrill Kelly. He's 12-8 with a 3.29 ERA. Another strikeout guy, not as much as Zach Gallen, 187 strikeouts. Right-handed pitcher. He's a veteran, 35 years old. He did face the Phils in a Phil's. He went 6 1/3, 3 hits, 3 earned runs. Gave up a home run to Real Muto. So Zach Gallen and Merrill Kelly. Now check this out. It's pretty interesting. Gallen and Kelly, their top 2 pitchers, Wheeler and Nola. Gallen and Kelly have 387 innings pitched. Wheeler and Nola 385. Their strikeout percentage is 26%. Wheeler and Nola's 26%. Their OPS and their other stats are literally almost identical. So their stats are pretty much identical.
Yeah.
Now, the good news is we have Wheeler and Nola at home, and they've got Gallen and Kelly are going to be facing on the road.
Yeah.
After that, they fall off the cliff a little bit. Brandon Pfaadt, Pfaadt. Brandon Pfaadt, another right-handed pitcher. So all the starters are right-handed. He went 3-9 with a 5.72 ERA. He pitched well versus LA, but he got hammered by the Brewers. 25 years old. So that should be an advantage because he's going to be going up against, obviously, Ranger Suarez. And then their 4th, I guess they're going to go with this guy, Ryan Nelson, who's 8-8 with a 5.31 ERA, 25 years old, again, right-handed. He didn't even get out of he got hit hard by Milwaukee. So, and Stott hit a home run against him back when we faced him earlier. So that's the starting pitching. So I would think that our advantage fills right there for starting pitching, even though they've got 2 guys at the top of the lineup. Let's go through their position players. Gabriel Marino, he's very good. I mean, JT is known as one of the top pop times and throwing out base runners, but
this guy's right there.
Gabriel Marino is right there. If not, stats-wise, he's actually better defensively. So he had 313 in the second half. He had 3 home runs. He has 3 home runs this postseason.
He's hot. He's hot coming into postseason.
He did bang up his hand, though, in the last game. First base, Christian Walker, another local kid from Norristown. I think he went to Kenrick Kennedy.
Yeah.
Right-hander, 32 years old. He has 69 home runs the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, he had 33 this year.
Got popped, 33 this year. Their second base is Marte, switch hitter. He hit 276, 25 home runs. He's a streaky player, 30 years old, veteran. Their shortstop is Perdomo. Not high average, not a lot of power. He made the All-Star team this year because he had a very good first half, but he had a bad second half. So a little bit of weakness there. Third base, how about this? They're going with Evan Longoria. Evan Longoria was a rookie in 2008 when the Phillies played the Tampa Bay Rays.
Wow.
That guy's been around a long time now.
So he's 38 years old now, right? Another right-hander. 223, 11 home runs this year. Their outfield, left field, they got Gurriel. Gurriel has 24 home runs, so he's got some pop, 30 years old, right-handed. Center fielder is a guy that doesn't have a whole lot of offense, Alec Thomas, but he's a great fielder. Great center fielder.
He can run, man. Those
guys
run.
He hit 239 home runs. He had 2 home runs versus the Dodgers. And then the guy, we'll save the last guy for last. The DH is Tommy Pham. Tommy Pham's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
35 years old. Trade for the Mets at the deadline. 256, 16 home runs. And he's 7 for 22 this postseason with a home run. That's their DH.
He's been around to a bunch of different teams.
Yes, he's been
Mets, Padres, Cardinals.
But then the right fielder, I think this whole team goes through their right fielder, and it's interesting. Sarge, you were talking about him during the break. He is Corbin Carroll, front runner for the NL Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He's a stud defender. He's fast. He's had 54 stolen bases, only been caught 5 times.
Wow.
He's their leadoff hitter, 23 years old.
Got some pop too.
Yep. He's hitting .412 in the playoffs. Wow. And yes, he's got some pops.
Left-handed hitter.
Yep. 25 home runs.
Yeah.
So he bat 285, 25 home runs. So he's got
it
all.
Not a big guy, you know.
No, but for a young kid, he's a gamer. But we'll see how this plays, against the Phils. When we go to their bullpen basically is, right now we have the hardest velocity of any of the remaining teams left. We average 97.2 miles per hour. You throw in anybody, you have Alvarado, Sir Anthony. We got some flamethrowers. They have the least velocity. If velocity is your thing, 93.7 miles per hour. They have 2 guys that are basically their studs. Kevin Ginkel is their setup guy. He's a guy that kind of labored a little bit. He got sent down to AAA in June, but he's come back strong, and he's struck out 8 of the last 17 in the postseason. And then their closer they got from Seattle, Paul Sewald, right-handed pitcher.
A little funky a little bit.
Little funky. He's been with a bunch of teams. 34 saves this year, so 3.12 ERA. They've got 2 lefties in the bullpen. We'll probably see a lot. Mantiply and Andrew Saalfrank, both kind of young. Saalfrank's young, I should say. Called up in September, rookie. So, and then Torey Lovello is their manager. Torey Lovello played for the Phils in 1999. So
wow.
That is the Diamondbacks right now. I'm feeling pretty good about this team, and we'll see. Game 1 tonight.
Got to play. First of all, unfortunately, we don't get a chance to see the Arizona Ball Club being here on the East, but they didn't get here by any luck.
This is a dangerous team. Do not take them lightly.
That's why, it's so important with that first game, then that second game, and now all of a sudden, you're going to have to face those 2 guys again if you win. That is some pressure, but with them playing defense and that speed at the top, going to have to keep him off because he gets on and leads off. They think automatically they're going to score.
It's a double or triple.
Well, that wraps up our special NLCS Playoff Independence Blue Cross Bull session. I'd like to thank my co-host Tommy Greene, our guest Gary Matthews, Sarge, our on-site engineer Chris Ermer. Thanks to you for listening. We're hoping to be back next Monday, right, Chris, to discuss Game 6 or our matchup in the World Series. Until then, have a great week, and as the late, great Harry the K says,
we're out of here.